Hey, everybody. I wanted to let you know real quick that we are going to be taking a break in July. So we're going to meet for the next couple of weeks, and then we'll be off for the month of July, but then we'll be back in August. So, okay. And you all already knew that part, but if you guys want to go ahead and take a simple seated position, and think about elongating our spines, taking some nice deep cleansing breaths, and letting our shoulders settle down away from our ears, checking in that our shoulders are stacked over top of our hips. Maybe using the palms of your hands on the front side of your knees as a little bit of support. Again, rolling those shoulders back and down, almost like if you were going to slide your shoulder blades together down along your spine. And then think again about taking a nice deep breath, letting that come down to that deep belly space. Exhaling out through your mouth as you breathe deeply. Just bringing our attention to this moment. Anything else that has happened during the day, just kind of letting those things float away. And then as we continue to sit and breathe, today we are talking about slowing down. So we're going to start there just by slowing our breath down. So thinking about elongating that breath as it comes in through your nose. And then extending the exhale. Kind of when you've reached the end of your exhale, see if you can just push a little bit more air out of your lungs. And then again, breathing deeply. And as you continue to elongate your breath and breathe, I am going to read for you all something for our reflection. It says, when was the last time you saw something so awe-inspiring that it stopped you in your tracks? When was the last time that something grabbed your attention fully and completely? Perhaps it even took your breath away. Was it the stars? A newborn baby? Was it a sunrise? An act of kindness? The mountains or ocean? A piece of art? Or a dance so profound that all you could do was sit and wonder? God's beauty in the world is meant to draw us in, meant to draw us closer in loving connection. But to see it or appreciate it, often we must slow down. So again, the invitation is to slow down today, to reconnect to those places of awe and wonder in ourselves, maybe even about ourselves. And so as we sit here, again, nice and tall, thinking about elongating that spine again. So if you've been sitting for a little while, sometimes we forget and start to hunch over. Think about elongating that spine, and then when you're ready, we're going to just simply shake our heads yes. So fully exploring the range of motion in your neck here. So taking that chin all the way down to the chest, and then tipping the head back as far as you can. Just going as far as feels comfortable to you. And then coming back to center, then we're going to shake our head no. So going again from one side to the other, exploring the range of motion here. Not doing anything that hurts, but taking the time and intention to see how far you can go. And then coming back to center, we're gonna speed up that motion a little bit. So we're gonna shake our head yes. Going a little bit faster this time. And then coming back to center, we're gonna shake our head no. So from side to side, again, going a little bit faster. And then coming back to center, this time we're gonna slow it way down. So just think about tipping your chin down to your chest, but like a millimeter at a time. So really, really slowly, thinking about all the little muscles in your neck. Continuing to breathe as you do so. And then when you're ready, starting to inch all the way back up. Again, very intentionally going super slow, like you were in slow motion here. Allowing that head to start to tip back. Allowing the chin to come up toward the ceiling. And then coming back to center, we're going to take the other direction. Again, super slow, like we were in slow motion. Just a tiny bit at a time. And then coming back to center. Taking it the other way. Noticing what comes up for you when we slow this way down. Do your thoughts start to race? Do you start to judge yourself? Do you start to notice maybe what's happening with your body? What happens for you? So again, going through those two motions, super slow, all the way up. Coming back to center. And then going to one side. And then the other side. Is there an urge to rush through that? Or does it feel comfortable to go slow? And ask ourselves all those questions. So coming back to center, let's kind of shake all of that out a little bit. This time we're going to do some neck rolls. And so we're going to, again, find ourselves in a comfortable seated position, keeping our chins down. We're going to roll one ear to one shoulder, stretching out to the side of the neck. And then tipping that chin down to your chest, you're going to take the other ear, other shoulder, stretching out the other side of your neck. Taking that chin down to your chest and then release that back up. This time we're going to release our heads back behind us. And then again, take that ear to the shoulder. And then releasing that back behind us. Taking the opposite ear, the opposite shoulder. And then back. And bringing our chin back up. This time we're going to involve our shoulders. So we're going to tip our chins down. And we're going to start to roll forward slightly. Starting to stretch out the shoulder blade muscles. And then go ahead and slowly round up. We're going to do that again. So tipping our chin down, rounding the shoulders down. Start to round the back. And then unroll. We're going to take our hands behind us, interlacing the fingers, pulling down at our tailbones, opening up the chest. Looking up if that feels comfortable to you. And then releasing those arms. We're going to do some shoulder rolls, so up towards your ears and down. And nice and slow and intentional. And then when you're ready, you're going to take those shoulders in the opposite direction. So if you were rolling your shoulders back and down, now we're rolling them forward and down. And then take those shoulders all the way up towards your ears, squeeze, and then release them down. All right, we're going to do an easy twist, a seated twist. So we're going to take one hand across our body, the other hand behind us for support, sitting nice and tall, twisting off to one side. Taking a nice deep breath. Staying here for maybe 2 or 3 breaths. And then releasing that forward. We're going to take the other side. So pressing on to the opposite side. Again, back on behind you for support. Sitting nice and tall as you inhale. Twisting a little deeper as you exhale. Maybe one more breath here. And then releasing that forward. We're going to take the left hand, put it down on the mat. Inhale the right arm up. And then lean off to that left hand side, stretching out the right side body. And when you're ready, you can come back to center, taking the right hand down. Inhale the left arm up. And then lean off to the right hand side. Making sure that we're anchoring in through both hips on the mat. Coming back to center, we're going to do that again. So left hand down, inhale the right arm up. This time, if you would like, you can look up toward the ceiling as you bend. Thinking about opening up your chest toward the ceiling. And then coming back to center, taking the right hand down, inhaling the left arm up, and again, thinking about or looking up toward the ceiling, opening up that chest. And if that puts too much strain on your neck, always feel free to keep your neck in a neutral position or to look down. That's fine. Coming back to center, and then go ahead and start to shake out those arms a little bit. We're going to do a seated cat-cow. So our palms are on the front of our knees. We're going to open up that chest and look up. So we're kind of arching our backs as we do this, doing a little slight back bend. And then when you're ready for your exhale, you're going to sit on your tailbone. Allow that curve to come up through your spine, stretching back, tucking your chin. Then opening up the chest as you inhale. Your exhale, sitting back on that tailbone, allowing the curve to come through the spine. Going at your own pace. So inhaling when you're ready to open up your chest. Exhaling as you round your back. Go ahead at your own pace. Maybe doing 5 or 6 of these. And coming back to center. Here we're going to do a barrel roll. And so we're going to keep our upper bodies kind of all in one line. But we're just going to simply rotate forward, almost like we were drawing a really big circle around ourselves. Exploring where that feels good in your body, maybe where it feels stretching in your body. Just doing that nice and slow. And then going the other direction. So when you're ready, switching directions. Exploring your waistline here as you move around. And then coming back to center. Thinking about sitting nice and tall, about pulling that belly button in towards your spine, about having those shoulders down away from your ears. Taking one more nice deep breath. And then when you're ready, you can start to move into all fours. We're going to come onto tabletop. And here in tabletop, we're going to first make sure that our knees are under our hips and that our wrists are underneath our shoulders for support. But then we're going to simply do some hip shifts here. So we're going to take our hips off to the left side and then off to the right side. Again, just kind of exploring what feels comfortable. If you would like to add kind of a half circle into it, you can start to shift your hips back and around as you go to one side and then back and around as you go to the other side. And you might feel this on your side body. It kind of stretches out. Continuing to breathe as you do these with nice slow motions. And when you've done your last one, go ahead and join me once more in tabletop pose. We're going to take that right hand and slide it underneath the left hand, and then we're going to sit back on our heels, leading the left arm forward for thread the needle pose. Again, breathing deeply here. When you're ready, you can slide that right hand back out and back to all fours. This time we're going to walk our hands in front of us slightly, so that way we're coming into a modified plank pose first. And then we're going to do those hip shifts again. So shifting off to one side, and then we're creating kind of like a semicircle around the front, and then shifting off to the other side. Just doing a couple of these. Again, exploring what feels comfortable in your body. Doing maybe one more of those. And then walking those hands back, coming back to all fours. This time sliding the left hand underneath the right. Lifting your hips back over top of your heels. And then coming down for thread the needle on the other side. Maybe taking one more deep breath here. And then when you're ready, starting to slide that left arm out in front, coming back to tabletop. This time we're going to slide that right knee in front, coming down into pigeon pose on the right side. And if you would like, you can go ahead and pull forward over top of your bent knee. It's funny, sometimes in my yoga notes, I'll write things and then later I'll go, I don't know exactly what I meant by that. So in my notes, I have tabletop outer hip crossover, but I don't really, I think this is what I meant, was pigeon pose. Maybe the invitation for me is to slow down when I'm writing these things out, right? When you're ready, you can start to work yourself back up onto your palms, sliding that right knee back. And going to take the other side, so take the left knee forward this time, sliding into the pose and then folding forward. And you can make this stretch more intense if you would like by taking your foot out away from your body. If it is too intense, then you can try to tuck that foot closer to your midline of your body. Taking a nice deep breath here. When you're ready, you can start to work yourself up onto your palms once more, back into tabletop. This time, we're going to take our knees as wide or wider than your mat. And we're going to do an inner thigh stretch. So we're going to take our hips off to one side and back. And you're trying to really focus on the inner thigh of that right side. So you're sitting back on the left. You're stretching off to the left side, almost like an angle. And then when you're ready, we're going to come back up onto all fours. Again, leaving those knees nice and wide. This time we're going to sit back on the right heel. Just trying to stretch out the inner thigh of the left leg there. Taking a deep breath. And coming back to all fours. We're going to do that one more time. So shifting our hips to the left, sitting back on the left heel, stretching out the inner thigh on the right side. Then coming back up, shifting those hips to the right, sitting back on the right heel, stretching out the left inner thigh. Coming back up to all fours. Kind of shake out those legs a little bit. And then we're going to turn toward the long edge of our mats for gate pose. So we're going to work ourselves into that position. So first, we're on our knees. We've got our knees about hip width apart. We're going to bring up the right foot, pressing the outer edge of the foot into the mat. I might need to take off my socks so that way I don't slide all around here. So again, make it accessible to yourself. And then if this is enough, feel free to stay here. Or if you would like, you can explore this pose further by putting the left hand down on the mat and then stretching up and over, extending that right arm up, really stretching out the whole right side of the body. Thinking about opening up your chest so you're not curving forward. And then if you can, you're going to start to work yourself back up towards center, engaging your core to help you to come back to center. And then if you would like, you can use this right hand for a little bit of support. This time you're going to inhale the left arm and then lean off to the right hand side over top of your extended leg. And again, only come down as far as feels comfortable to you. So if you feel like a cramp or if that feels like it's too much of a stretch on the inside of the thigh, then just back off a little bit. Coming back to center, go ahead and let those arms come down, let the legs come down. This time we're going to take the other side. So as we stand on our knees there, we're going to take the left leg out this time. Again, pressing in through the outer edge of that foot. So your toes are facing the long edge of your mat. You can take that right hand down to the mat if you'd like. Lift up the left arm. Take it over your head. Really stretching out the whole left side of the body. Taking another deep breath. And you can Think about engaging your core to help you lift back to center. We're going to leave that left hand down for support, this time taking the right arm up and then leaning over the extended leg. Taking one more deep breath here. And then again, lifting up out of that pose. We're going to bring that left leg in. And be on our knees here. We're going to inhale both arms up. I'm going to encourage you to grab your left wrist with your right hand and then pull off to the right hand side. Really thinking about creating space between each one of your ribs. And then coming back to center, go ahead and release those arms down. Inhale both arms up. This time taking hold of that right wrist, leading off to the left hand side. And coming back to center. Go ahead and release both of those arms down. This time we're going to do some shoulder rolls again. Slowing it down. And then going the opposite direction. All right. So we're going to come to the back of our mats now. We're going to step forward with our left foot. We're coming into a low lunge. So take your hands to either side of that front foot. Really stretching in through that right hip flexor. If you'd like to find some movement in this pose, you can go ahead and shift your weight back, allowing the toes to come up on the front foot, coming into half split, and then walking those hands forward, coming into low lunge, going back and forth between those two. If you are comfortable with just having a little bit more stillness, then you can just stay in low lunge here. And when you're ready, if you haven't already, go ahead and meet in that low lunge. This time, heel toe your foot out to the side. You're going to take both hands to the inside of that front foot. And either you can stay here for lizard pose, or you can see if you can come down onto your elbows for a deeper stretch here. And again, if you need to roll up your mat for that back knee, sometimes this can be a little bit of an intense pose for our knees. When you're ready, you can start to work yourself back up onto your palms, leaving the right palm there and leaving your left foot there. We're going to reach up toward the ceiling with that left hand. Taking a nice deep breath. And then bringing that back down. And we're going to heel toe that foot back to the center as we take one hand on either side. We're going to step that left foot back and meet the right. Giving that right knee a little bit of a break. And then we're going to step forward with the right foot this time. Coming to that low lunge on the other side. And kind of sinking down into this stretch. Really stretching into the left hip flexor. And if you would like, you can then shift your weight back to that back leg, allowing the right toes to come up for half split. Going back and forth between those two poses if you would like. Or if you need some stillness in your life, and then just holding this front low lunge. Intentionally going nice and slow. Again, exploring the range of motion. And then meeting me back in this front low lunge. We're going to heel toe that foot out to the edge of the mat, taking both hands to the inside of that front foot. Either you can stay here, or you can come down onto your elbows. Lizard pose. Again, holding the pose, but not holding the breath. And working yourself back up onto your palms. I'm going to leave the left palm there and leave the right foot there and reach up toward the ceiling with that right hand. Engaging your core for stability. And then taking that hand back down to the mat. We're going to heel toe that foot back to the center, taking one hand on either side of that front foot, and then stepping that right knee back to the left knee, shaking out that left knee. We are going to come into a seated position again, so however you want to get there, you can. And we're going to do something called fire log. So the way that we get into this is first by taking our foot in the opposite hand. We're going to hold the outside of our knee and kind of rock back and forth like a baby. It's exploring the edges of what feels comfortable in our bodies. And then when we're ready, we're going to take that foot right on top of the opposite knee and lay that leg down, almost like we were laying fire logs on top of each other. And then sitting nice and tall. Seeing if you can relax those knees. Relax your ankles. Engage your core. Keeping it engaged, but not like so tight that you can't breathe. And when you're ready, you're going to start to move out of that. So you can either pick up this top leg and start to rock it back and forth again, or you can just start to unfold yourself. And then letting that come down, we're going to switch whichever leg we're working with. Taking that opposite foot and opposite hand, rocking that leg back and forth. Again, really exploring the edges of our hips, what's possible there. Continuing to breathe. And then taking that foot, putting it on top of its opposite knee, and laying that leg down, sitting nice and tall. Again, relaxing your knees, relaxing your ankles, relaxing your calves. Engaging your core, sitting nice and tall. And then when you're ready, go ahead and pick up that top leg again. And rock back and forth again. And then just allowing that leg to come down into whatever is a comfortable seated position for you. We're going to do another seated spinal twist here. And so we're going to take our hand across our body. We're going to take the opposite hand behind us, sitting nice and tall, and then twisting off to the side. We're warming up our back for a deeper twist in just a moment. And releasing that forward. We're going to take the other side, so moving slowly toward the other side, sitting nice and tall. And then twisting on your exhale. And then when you're ready, releasing that forward. This time we're going to take our right foot over top of our left knee. And hug that knee into our chest. Again, just slowing down. And then if you would like, if your body is warmed up enough for it, you can take this right hand behind you and start to move your left elbow to the outside of that front knee for a deeper twist. Holding for one more breath. And then releasing that down. We're going to take the other side. Take that left foot over top of our right knee. Hug that into your chest first. Really feeling a deep stretch on the outside of our left hip. And then if you're able to, go ahead and take that left hand out behind you. Start to move the right elbow to the outside edge of that left knee. For a deeper twist on this side. One more breath here. And then release that forward. Okay, we're going to take the soles of our feet together. And then we're going to lean forward. Either you can bounce your knees if that's comfortable, or you can lean forward and press your elbows in towards your knees. And as we pause here for several deep breaths, I'm going to read this for us one more time. It says, when was the last time you saw something so awe-inspiring that it stopped you in your tracks? When was the last time that something grabbed your attention fully and completely? Perhaps it even took your breath away. Was it the stars? Was it a newborn child? Was it a sunrise or an act of kindness? The mountains or the ocean? A piece of art? Or a dance so profound, all you could do was sit in wonder. God's beauty in the world is meant to draw us in, draw us closer in loving connection. But to see it or appreciate it, often we must slow down. Now, there is a time for everything. There are times when we have to push through, or when action is needed. And there are times when we need to slow down, to reflect, to appreciate the beauty around us. Have you ever sat and truly examined a flower? If I were going to draw it, I would have to look at every line, every shaded curve, each fleck and dot and petal to copy it. What beauty in the world are we trying to copy today? And how slow must we be in order to actually see it? When you're ready, you can go ahead and start to very slowly round yourself up. We're going to take our hands to the outside of our knees and help those knees together. We're going to sweep those legs to one side as we come up onto our knees once more. We're going to come to all fours and then walk our hands back towards our knees again as we round ourselves up. We're going to move into our version of camel pose. So taking our hands to the back of our hips, opening up our chest as we draw our elbows back towards each other. You can shift your hips forward here and start to do a little bit of a back bend if that's comfortable for you. Opening up your chest. Lending support to your back through your palms. And then coming up out of that pose nice and slow, we're going to shift our hips back, put our hands on the mat in front of us, and then walk ourselves out into all fours. Here we're going to arch our back up and tuck our tailbone and tuck our chin, coming into cat pose. If you'd like, you can move your head from side to side here, or you can shake your head once again as we started. And then coming back into a neutral tabletop position. We're going to walk our hands back towards our knees. Again, rounding ourselves up. Taking those palms to the back side of our hips, opening up the chest, shifting the hips forward, arching back into our version of camel. Really drawing those elbows toward each other. Feeling a nice stretch on the front side of your shoulders as well. And then coming up out of that, very nice and slow, taking our hands down to the mat, walking those hands forward into all fours again, and then arching the back up, tucking the tailbone, tucking the chin for cat pose. Let's do that one more time. So walking our hands back toward our knees, rounding ourselves up. Head should be the last thing that comes up. And then again, slowly moving into our camel pose, taking the hands to the low back space, doing a nice little back bend here, opening up the chest, and then coming up out of that slowly, releasing the arms down, taking the hands down to the mat, walking them forward into all fours, and then arching up into cat pose as we tuck the tailbone and chin once more. This time, starting to shift your hips back, allowing the spine to relax, taking the arms forward, resting the forehead on the mat for child's pose. Slowing down. We're going to walk ourselves forward, so pulling ourselves up to all fours. We're going to walk our hands forward and then allow those hips to drop down to the mat. Keeping a nice little bend in your elbow. Come up into cobra pose. Those shoulders down, away from your ears. And then go ahead and relax yourself down toward the mat. Turn your head to one side, allow the arms to come down to either side. And intentionally think about kind of breathing into that low back space, just allowing the tailbone to soften down. Allowing your belly space to soften. When you're ready, we're going to take our hands underneath our shoulders and start to work ourselves up onto our elbows for Sphinx pose. spreading out those palms. If you'd like to engage your core by pressing your palms into the mat, do that. And also engage the back side of your body a little bit more. Take another deep breath here. And then relaxing that all the way back down to the mat, this time turning your head to the opposite side. Resting your arms down alongside your body. Resting your legs, relaxing all the muscles in your legs. Taking a nice deep breath. From here, we're going to take our right hand straight out from our shoulder. We're going to bend the elbow and tent our fingers. And then we're going to take the left arm straight out from our bodies. We're going to bend that right knee and then push the floor away for broken wing pose. When you're ready, you can relax that down. We're going to take that right leg back down toward the mat. We'll rest both arms down along our sides. Take another deep breath. We'll move our palms underneath our shoulders, pushing ourselves up into a modified plank pose, and then shifting our hips back for child's pose once more. When you're ready, you can pull yourself back to all fours. Walk those knees forward. Allow the hips to come down toward the mat. This time again, keeping those elbows in close to the body for cobra pose. Opening up your chest. And resting all the way down to you're turning your head to one side, allowing the hands to come down alongside your body. Taking another deep breath here. Then moving our hands over our shoulders and starting to work ourselves up onto our elbows and spreading out those fingers, pressing the palms and the forearms into the mat. Or Sphinx pose. When you're ready, you can turn your head to the other side. Relax down onto the mat, bringing your arms down alongside your body. Again, breathing deeply into that low back space. Relaxing your pelvic bone and your hips. And then from here, we're going to take our left hand out, straight out from our arm, or straight out from our shoulder, excuse me. And then you're going to bend your left elbow, tenting your left fingers. We're going to take that right arm straight out from our right shoulder. Bend the left knee and bring it up to the side. And then go ahead and push the floor away from you for broken wing on the other side. Maybe taking one more deep breath here. And then relaxing that down, go ahead and take the left leg down. Take your arms down alongside your body once more. One more deep breath. Then moving those palms underneath your shoulders, go ahead and push yourself up into modified plank. And then shift those hips back for child's pose again. When you're ready, we can start to move ourselves into all fours. We're first going to shift our weight to the left foot, or to the left knee. You can do left foot, that was very complicated, I think. And then you're going to take that right foot up toward the ceiling. And if you'd like, you can do a couple little pulses here at the top. And then release that leg down. We're going to shift our weight to the other side, this time taking the left foot up toward the ceiling. And then again, if you would like, you can do some little pulses or you can hold this pose. And then bring that knee down. Walking your hands forward, coming back into our modified plank. Lower ourselves down to the mat. This time coming up onto our elbows, taking the left arm across the front body, reaching back with the right hand, pulling that right foot in towards the body for a nice quad stretch here. Taking one more deep breath. And then releasing that down. We come back to our elbows, this time taking the right arm across the front of the body, reaching back with the left arm, pulling that foot in toward your body. Getting a nice deep stretch on the left quad. Releasing that down. We're going to come back down onto our bellies. This time taking our arms down alongside our bodies first. We're going to lift our head and shoulders off the mat. We're going to bring our arms parallel to the floor. We're going to lift our feet up off the mat. And then take our arms out to either side, palms facing down. And then bring those hands behind your head. And taking those hands back to either side, go ahead and turn the palm facing up as you bring your arms down alongside your body. And then relax down onto the mat. You're making a little pillow for yourself out of your arms. Go ahead and bring both feet up toward the ceiling and then windshield wiper those feet back and forth. Releasing any tension you feel in your low back. Bring those feet back to the ceiling. Go ahead and release them down to the mat. And stay here for several breaths. I have one more quote to read for us. It comes from Thomas Merton. As we talk about slowing down today. Thomas Merton writes, "There is a pervasive form of contemporary violence to which the idealist most easily succumbs. Activism and overwork. The rush and pressure of modern life are a form, perhaps the most common form, of its innate violence. To allow oneself to be carried away by a multitude of conflicting concerns, to surrender to too many demands, to commit oneself to too many projects, to want to help everyone in everything is to succumb to violence. The frenzy of our activism neutralizes our work for peace. It destroys our own inner capacity for peace. It destroys the fruitfulness of our own work because it kills the root of inner wisdom, which makes work fruitful. So in short, he's talking about how the rush of life, when we participate in the rush of life, we do violence to ourselves, and how that destroys this inner wisdom that we have that leads to peace and makes the work that we do fruitful. So if you would like to move into a final relaxation pose that's different from the one that you're in, feel free to do that. If you want to turn over to your back, or if you want to get into a child's pose, or turn onto your side, or do something else, feel free to do that. And again, the invitation is to reconnect with something that was awe-inspiring to you. Whatever that was, something that fully grabbed your attention, helping you to slow down, to stay in that moment with that particular beauty. Listening to the inner wisdom that's present in that moment, and then coming to peace. You can start to bring your attention back to this moment. You'd like to slowly move or stretch, and eventually bring yourself into a seated position. To place your hands on your heart, or palms together, or open on your knees. Feel free to do that as I pray for us to close. God, thank you for the invitation to slow down. Lord, we respond to your invitation, recognizing our own hurried hearts, recognizing the pressure and the rush of life. Lord, we ask you to help us to notice when we need to slow down, when we need to be fully present in the moment, when we need to draw every line and petal and dot of a flower, when we need to be fully absorbed by your beauty. God, we're grateful for your presence with us. We ask for you to go with us as we leave this space today. It's in your name we pray.
Thank you.
How are you?